the biggest fight of the year. Champion versus champion. Lightweight champion Islam Makhachev, who's on a tear. I think he's on a 15-fight win streak. I think he's one fight away from tying Anderson Silva's epic 16-fight win streak. So he could become the double champ, the first ever lightweight to move up to welterweight, hold 2 belts at once, and also tie for the longest win streak in UFC history. This is it, guys. This is a big moment. I'm going to tell you guys right away, I'm picking Islam Makhachev. Now, this is no easy fight. I don't want to make this sound like it's going to be an easy fight, but I want to give you guys my pick right away. And by the way, guys, make sure you use promo code FALL50 off at jujiclub.com. Jujiclub.com. Get any video on striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, conditioning, strong and stable knees, strong and stable back. Make sure you get those videos. Those are life-changing videos. Follow the rules in those videos, and you will train pain-free, injury-free for life. Okay, guys, use promo code 50 FALL50 off. It's on the bottom of your screen. It's in the description. You can't miss it. Just don't forget to punch it in, and you get 50% off absolutely anything. Okay, guys, with that said, why am I picking Islam Makhachev? Here's the thing. We've seen plenty of Islam. We've seen him fight. We've seen him be in hard fights. Like the Dustin Poirier fight was not an easy fight. That was not an easy fight. Dustin put up a real battle. And he's very similar to JDM in the sense that he's very heavy boxing. Now, of course, their boxing style is very different. But Islam Makhachev has dealt with this type of problem before. A very slick boxer who wants to keep him at distance and punish him with the hands. Dustin Poirier tried it. And actually, Dustin Poirier did really well. Now, imagine Dustin Poirier was a little bit bigger. And JDM, you could say, is a little bit more careful than Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is the type of guy who's going to get more into a blood and guts fight than JDM. Now, JDM has gotten into plenty of bloody battles. But I would say he's more surgical. JDM is the type of guy, he's going to beat you sometimes. He could beat you with 1,000 paper cuts. Not to say he doesn't turn it on when he needs to, but you'll notice JDM, when he's punching, he's just tapping you. He's just tapping you. He's not pulling all his power into it. He's not pulling all his might. He's not swinging it from behind. He's not telegraphing. He's not ducking and chucking. No. He's dabbing you. Dab. He's chipping away at you. Chip. It takes a lot of discipline to punch that way. That punching style makes it harder to grab onto you. Whereas if you look at Poirier's style, Poirier, is a very surgical boxer for sure, but he puts a lot more heat on his shots. Okay. When you put a lot more heat on your shots, you're swinging your body around, you're pushing into the ground a lot longer than a JDM that kind of wants to hit you. He wants to beat you with 1,000 paper cuts. When you fight JDM style and you're very crisp and your shots are they're all setup shots. You're looking for a big shot, but you don't throw them often. It's harder to grab onto you. I want to shoot in your legs, but you didn't plant your feet so hard. You didn't shift your weight so big. Your movements were so small that if I shoot, it might not be the right time. You might just step out of the way. You might down block me. You might circle out of alignment. You might break the alignment that we have together. It could be a little bit more difficult to grab onto a JDM than a Dustin Poirier. Why? Because Dustin Poirier is the type of guy, he kind of goes for the kill more often. Now, JDM's gotten plenty of finishes. He's a great finisher. What I'm saying is that he's more patient in his finishing. He throws a lot of decoy shots, a lot of tip-tap chipping shots to land the big ones. And those kind of fighters are harder to predict. This is what I'm trying to say. JDM is going to be harder to time on the takedown. If we go watch the Bilal Muhammad fight with JDM, it took a long time before Bilal could shoot on JDM. It took a long time. We all thought, hey, he's going to do what he did against Leon Edwards. He's going to shoot from round 1, bell 1, minute 1. He's going to have JDM up against the fence, putting him down over and over again, endless cardio and endless takedowns. That's not what we saw. We saw Bilal Muhammad hesitant to shoot more than usual, and it took a long time before he even got him to the ground. And when he did get him to the ground, JDM was able to scramble back up to his feet. We're going to talk about JDM's ground ability in the upcoming minutes. However, I want to mention his punching style. He's got a chipping, punching style. Now, some people think that means he has no power. Not at all. I'm sure he's a very stiff puncher. I'll watch him. He's a great puncher. He's a phenomenal puncher. Arguably the best boxer in UFC after Topuria. His punching style is harder to get a hold of. It's harder to shoot on. Why? He chips away. You never know when those big shots are coming because he throws them sparingly. He's very calculated and careful. Now, with that said, I think Makhachev is a very hard hitter. A lot of people sleep on his striking. His striking is highly underrated. Statistically speaking, Makhachev is one of the least hit fighters in UFC. Statistically speaking, when was the last time you saw him get hurt or rocked? You have to go all the way back to the Volk fight. He got tagged here and there. He got touched up here and there. In the Meccano fight, there was an exchange and Makhachev hit the ground. But if you rewatch it, no punch ever landed. He kind of slipped. He just stumbled. He kind of got hit in the chest, the pec, or the back of the shoulder. I can't remember what it was. But I rewatched it. He didn't get hit by a punch. It didn't connect. He just stumbled. He fell. He was kind of like punching and shooting at the same time. He tripped over his own feet. Okay, but at the end of the day, there was no shot that landed. He stumbled to the ground, got up, and shot into Meccano's legs, and we all know he got the darts. Now, I think JDM is a better boxer, no doubt. Makhachev is not as technical with the hands. But I would tell you, power-wise, I would say they're fairly equal. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, Coach, he's a lightweight still. I don't think Makhachev is going to be a small welterweight. I think he's going to be a regular-sized welterweight. I think he was a huge lightweight. I don't know how he makes the weight. I've stood next to him. I've met him in person. He's a very big guy. How does he make the weight at 155? I don't know. Guys, shout out to my sponsor, Man-Made. Okay, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors. Man-Made, they make the world's best underwear. They're a Canadian company. Check them out. Okay, guys, like I was saying, Makhachev, he's probably going to be as big and as strong as JDM. Think about it. Don't you think Makhachev spars with welterweights on a regular basis? Of course he does. Do you think he tells himself, hey, I got really beat up by these welterweights that are fighting at the world-class level, and I think I should move up to welterweight? No, he's not thinking that. He's for sure doing really well against welterweight, world-class welterweights in the practice room. He's doing very well. He's dominating. And he's telling himself, hey, maybe I'll be even better at welterweight. Why? I'm killing myself making 155, and when I make 155 and I rehydrate, I'm not 100%. You can't fully rehydrate in such a short time. You're not back to 100%. And maybe that's why he's had great performances, but he's had a few difficult fights here and there, namely the Volkanovski fight. The Poirier fight was competitive. A lot of people, I don't know, I think they misremember it. They talk about it like if it was a blowout. It wasn't a blowout. He won the rounds. He beat Dustin. He subbed Dustin, but it was still a very competitive fight. He was hit. He got cut. Poirier was able to stop a few takedowns, even though it was a dominant fight by Islam, by and large, but it wasn't a walk. He didn't walk over Dustin. Okay, there was work to be done there, and he took some damage. Now, I don't want to go too long about this, so I'm going to wrap it up shortly. Can Islam take him down? I'm going to say yes. And I think Islam's going to do it in round one. He's going to shoot in round one. Maybe he doesn't get the takedown, but he's going to work the takedown in round one. That's what Bilal Muhammad didn't do. He let round one slide without much wrestling. Islam is going to shoot in round one. I promise you guys that he will shoot in round one. And if he misses or not, he's going to go up to the judo. He's eventually going to lock his arms, or he's going to tie up the upper body. He's going to shoot if JDM sprawls, which I'm sure he will. Makhachev is going to go up to that clinched upper body throws, and he's got phenomenal judo throws. He's going to combine wrestling and judo together, and I think he's going to get the fight to the ground. Maybe not in round one, but he will eventually get the fight to the ground, and I will tell you that I think that Makhachev can get a submission. Absolutely. He's going to be very difficult to scrabble out from under. We saw JDM get taken down over and over again by Dorino and sorry, not Dorino, excuse me, Gilbert Burns. By Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns was able to control him quite well until we all saw that at the end, the last minute left, JDM scores a beautiful knee, drops Gilbert Burns, and just finishes him. I think it's going to be very difficult to do that, Makhachev. Makhachev is a very good gut wrencher. He's a very good pinner. He's eventually going to work to a head and arm type of choke, either Darce, either Anaconda, either Katakatami arm triangle. He's going to find an arm triangle, and he's going to put the squeeze on JDM, and it's going to be all she wrote. Guys, that's my opinion on the fight. I think Makhachev wins. I'm giving this a 55-45. Okay, so I'm giving quite a chunk here to Makhachev. I rewatched JDM versus Bilal and thought Islam had great chance to land on Jack, but as the round built up, Jack gained confidence and went into flow. Part 2. Bilal put himself into the fire to try to land, which I don't think Islam will do. Suspect chin and higher weight class. I can see a decision. Guys, that's from Rob. Rob is saying that Islam's gonna... I rewatched JDM versus Bilal and thought Islam had great chance to land on Jack, but as the rounds built up, Jack gained confidence and went into flow. Okay, so he's comparing the Bilal Muhammad fight to what he thinks he's going to see in the Makhachev JDM fight. And then he continues, he says, Bilal pulled himself into the fire to try to land, which I don't think Islam will do. Okay, so what does it mean, put him into the fire? He's going to try to get close, get in the boxing range, put that guy in a close-up range, like in a phone booth range, and mix it up with him so you can grab his legs. Okay, so he's saying Islam's not going to do that because he has a suspect chin, he's saying, and it's a higher weight class. I can see a decision. Okay, well, look, I'll tell you something. I think Islam's going to shoot more single legs, so you could shoot from further out. And from the single leg, he's going to eventually shoot and to switch off to a double leg somehow. Okay, so usually when you have a single leg, guys, you can't finish with one leg. You can, technically you can, but it's not really seen at the highest levels. When I have a single leg, I run the pipe, I off balance the guy, and I have to somehow make contact with the second leg. Like I tell my students, I always tell my students, if you're holding on to one leg, you have 0. I always tell my students, if I have a single leg, I have 0 until I make contact somehow, some way with the other leg. A good athlete generally doesn't go down when you're attacking one leg. You have to somehow, if you notice, almost all single leg finishes, almost all, require you to make contact with the second leg, the supporting leg. You have to trip it, you have to trap it, you have to connect your hands over that leg. Somehow, some way, you have to connect your body to that leg. You have to have control of both legs, and then you can make him fall. Guys, I have a great single leg made easy video. Make sure to check that out. I have a single leg defense video made easy. It's a super well done video. I've been doing single leg for 20 plus years. I train it on a regular basis. I know the ins and outs of single leg. I'm telling you, Islam Makhachev has a crazy good single leg. He's going to shoot a single. He's a southpaw, don't forget. JDM switches, but when they're both in open stance, it's easier to grab the single leg than a double. He's going to shoot a variety of both, but early on, I think he's going to shoot single legs, and he's going to reach for the upper body, and he's going to work that judo and in combination. The reason, guys, I'm just doing JDM and Makhachev. All right, guys, just JDM. I'm looking for JDM and Islam Makhachev questions. So excited to see Islam go up in weight and challenge for the belt. That's from Joe. Joe, me too, man. This is the fight of the year. This is the most anticipated fight of the year in my book. Islam's striking is underrated. Jack is Australian and Islam is Russian. Bears would wreck a kangaroo. John JC says, look, you got to go to the national animal, and that's going to tell you the story. Now, the Canadian animal is the beaver. We love the beaver and the moose. So, we're down the food chain in this regard. Because JDM handled Bilal fairly easily. That's from Dana Haynes. He says, okay, he handled him fairly easily. I think it was a competitive fight, but I can see that, there was a good margin for JDM nonetheless. Okay, let me see here. I had a good question. Okay, I had a JDM question and it skipped on me. Give me 1 second. Will Islam be the GOAT of UFC if he wins against JDM? That's from Ahmed. Ahmed, I'll tell you something. He will definitely be... Will that make him the GOAT? Yeah, it could possibly make him the GOAT. Why? Because you combine that with his win streak. It'll make him 16-fight win streak. Now, if he goes on and he beats Taporia, then there's no doubt. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Okay, but it's a tall order of fights, guys. He's still got to beat JDM, but it's very possible. It's within range. Because that is incredible. Honestly, 16-fight win streak. If he wins this fight, that's a big if, he'll be 2-division champ with the longest win streak in UFC history. Incredible. Guys, I'm only doing JDM questions, friends. I'm the one who's supposed to have CTE, not you guys. If you had to argue that JDM would win, what would your argument be? That's from 9bit9. I would tell you, look, he could do a win by 1,000 paper cuts if somehow, some way, he can stuff every takedown of Makhachev. I just don't see that happening. I think Islam slips one past the goalie eventually and gets him on the ground. And if he gets him on the ground, it's going to be pain and suffering on the side of JDM and also finishes. Guys, I'm a big believer in Makhachev's ability to finish. He could do arm bars. He could do head and arm chokes. He could do a rear naked choke. Like, he's a much more sophisticated finisher than a lot of guys JDM's ever seen. Actually, everybody JDM's ever seen. So it's not a question of Sambo or Jiu-Jitsu. The guy's just been doing MMA for so long and he's tightened up his finishing game so much. That's a major threat. If this guy takes you down once, it might be the end of the night. It's a serious threat. So you asked me to make a case for JDM, and of course there is one. I would say JDM's got to stay low. He's got to stop every takedown at all costs. He's got to maybe risk the flying knee later in the rounds, like late in the rounds. There's only a minute left. So even if he gets taken down, hey, you know what? I could survive for a minute. But if he gets taken down too early in a round, it could be all she wrote. So I would say, look, he's got to defend takedowns, do high-risk stuff near the end of the round, and stay low, man. Don't let Makhachev touch your legs. If Makhachev touches your legs, you might end up on your back. And if you end up on your back, it could be a long night. Guys, if JDM gets his back taken, it could be all she wrote. You know, I know you're going to be like, Volkanovski stopped his subs. Yeah, Volkanovski's short and stout. It's not impossible to stop his submissions. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I think Volk is much more defensively sound and resistant to submissions and more proven on the ground than a JDM. Okay, now JDM might be on his way to becoming, very impervious on the ground, but I don't think he's there yet. Volkanovski has a lot more experience, I think, on the ground. Bilal didn't wrestle JDM and got into a striking contest with JDM. Islam is too smart for that. He will mix up the striking with takedowns and eventually submit JDM. That's from Punit. Punit, I have to agree with you on some extent. Bilal didn't shoot as much as we all thought he was gonna. He didn't shoot in round 1, minute 1. He didn't set up a takedown. He played with this. He played with fire. And, it's a game. Sometimes you got to come up with an interesting strategy. You can't just be predictive. You can't be so obvious. Maybe he felt, hey, that's too obvious. Maybe JDM's going to be waiting for me with a flying knee or something. I wasn't part of his training camp, so I don't know. But Islam is going to shoot round 1, minute 1. And he knows about the knee. He knows about the uppercuts. He knows all about that. He knows about the guillotines. He has a way. He has a confidence that he could avoid that using timing. Is JDM the next generation of MMA? It just skipped on me. Can you believe it? Why does it do that? I don't think JDM is the next evolution of MMA. I think he's a modern MMA fighter, but the next evolution, they're going to do it all, okay? Here's one thing we're not worried about. JDM scoring double legs and finding a sub. If he was the next generation, he'd have a more sophisticated game. Right now, JDM is a boxer who knows how to defend takedowns, and if you get him on the ground, he's good at getting back up. He's not a complete fighter, okay? He's a great fighter. He's a champion. He's a great fighter. Don't misquote me here. Don't misunderstand me. But the evolution, the next generation, they're going to be doing it all. They're going to be a threat everywhere. They can armbar you. They can choke you. They can back kick you. They can flying knee you. They can snap you down into a guillotine. They can wrestle you to the ground. They don't just play defense, okay? So ultimately speaking, no, I couldn't say that this is the next evolution. Coach Big John couldn't disagree about Islam not beating Khabib's record in lightweight, even if he gets past it because of his 1 KO loss. How good is Khabib, everyone? Question mark. Oh, this is from Shiz, guys, by the way. When Islam gets the second, he is past Khabib. Thoughts? No, I think he'd surpass Khabib. If he wins the welterweight title, I think we have to say because that one loss, look, could happen to anybody. And you could argue that, I wouldn't argue this, but you can argue that Khabib lost a fight that he should, he lost one fight. A lot of people thought he should have went the other way. I'm forgetting the name of his opponent, the big jack wrestler. He couldn't take him down. It's the only fight Khabib didn't get the fight to the ground. I don't think so. I think Khabib won because he was on the offense, etc. It's hard to say. Look, for me, I think Khabib is number 1. If Islam wins the middleweight division and somehow, some way is able to make it back down to 155, and win the lightweight title, he's for sure the best lightweight ever. If he does that, that's a long order, because I think now that he went up, I don't think he ever comes back down to make 155. I think they're gonna have to throw so much money at him. It's gonna have to be for Ilia Topuria at 155. It's gonna have to be such a mega fight. It's not gonna be just come back down and defend your title. No. It's gonna have to be a mega fight at the White House, because it's gonna be a lot of pain and suffering to make back at that weight. And even then, if he makes it back to 155, there's no guarantee his performance is going to be like it used to. So if he ends his career the way it is, I still have Khabib as number one, but not because of that one loss, just because of how dominant Khabib was.